I never thought I would become the calmest man in the room. On the day my relationship officially died, not angry, not loud, not desperate, just clear. Her friends always joked she had a backup man. They said it casually, like it was harmless. Humor, something you laugh off over drinks. I used to smile and pretend it didn't bother me. I told myself it was just talk. People joke. But jokes have a way of revealing truths long before confessions do. My name is Callum Reed. 38. I work in logistics, steady hours, predictable life, nothing flashy. I was with Laura for 5 years. She was social, magnetic, the kind of woman who collected people effortlessly. I was the opposite, quiet, observant, consistent. She once said, that was why she loved me. I was safe. I didn't realize then that safe was just another word for temporary. The comments started small. Her friends would tease her at gatherings. If Callum ever messes up, you've got Theo waiting. They'd laugh. She'd roll her eyes, sometimes smile. Theo was always around. Gym friend, old coworker, someone who just happened to text her a lot. I asked once, lightly, if it bothered her. When they said that, she kissed my cheek and told me I was overthinking. Said I was being sensitive. I believed her, because believing her was easier than trusting my instincts. Over time, things shifted, not dramatically, quietly. She stopped sharing details about her day. Her phone was always face down. Late nights became normal. I told myself, relationships evolve. The comfort replaces excitement. That love doesn't always announce itself. Still, something felt off. Not betrayal, displacement. Like I was slowly being moved to the background of my own life. The night it finally broke was her birthday dinner. Small group, her friends, laughter, wine. Theo was there, of course, sitting closer than necessary, joking a little too comfortably. At one point, someone raised a glass and said, to Laura, always keeping her options open. Laughter followed. This time, she didn't roll her eyes. She laughed too. And then she looked at me, like she was daring me to react. I didn't. I just nodded, took a sip, and paid attention, not to them, to myself, to the realization settling in my chest. I wasn't her partner anymore. I was her placeholder. The safe option until something better felt ready. Later that night, as people were leaving, I overheard her in the kitchen with 2 friends. She didn't know I was there. One of them said, if things go south with Callum, you know Theo would step up. Laura laughed and said, he already is. Just not officially. They didn't see me. They didn't have to. I didn't confront her. I didn't interrupt. I simply walked back into the living room and sat down. When the apartment finally emptied, she came over and asked if I was okay. I told her I was fine. I said it calmly, no edge, no accusation. That seemed to confuse her more than anger would have. She went to bed without another word. I stayed up, thinking, not spiraling, just sorting through what I already knew. The next morning, I made breakfast like usual, coffee, toast. Normalcy has a way of clarifying things. She scrolled through her phone while eating. I told her I needed to say something. She sighed, already irritated. I asked her directly if Theo was her backup plan. She paused, then said, why are you making such a big deal out of nothing? That was my answer. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I told her I agreed. It wasn't a big deal, and that was why I was leaving. She laughed at first, thought I was bluffing. Then she saw me packing a bag. She asked where I was going. I told her it didn't matter anymore. 2 days later, her friends invited me out, said they wanted to clear the air. I agreed. Public place, neutral ground. Theo was there too. I sat across from him, calm, observant. One of them joked again about the backup man. I smiled and said, you're right. The table went quiet. I turned to Theo and said, you've clearly been filling that role already, so I'm making it official. Laura's face drained of color. I stood up, wished them well, and left. No insults, no accusations, just clarity, the kind that doesn't need volume. My phone exploded later. Messages from her, from friends, from people suddenly concerned. I didn't respond. There was nothing left to explain. Here's the thing they didn't expect. I wasn't hurt anymore. I was relieved. Because once you accept you were never the main choice, leaving becomes easy. I didn't lose her. I reclaimed myself, and the backup man became the main one, not because I forced it, but because I stepped aside and let the truth take center. Stage dot in the weeks that followed, the narrative shifted without my involvement. Friends picked sides. Stories were edited. Suddenly I was cold, distant, uncommunicative. I let it happen. I learned that silence is often the most accurate response. LR reached out once more, asking if we could talk, if we could find closure. I declined. Closure is not a conversation you owe someone who already moved on emotionally. I focused on work, routine, the simple discipline of rebuilding without noise. Mornings felt lighter. Evenings felt honest. I wasn't competing anymore. I wasn't being compared. I wasn't wondering if affection was borrowed from someone else's attention. That alone was worth everything I walked away from. Sometimes people think winning means being chosen. It doesn't. Winning is recognizing when you were never in the race and refusing to keep running anyway. I didn't expose anyone. I didn't humiliate her. I simply accepted the joke for what it was and removed